there it is. The Samurai SMR3 is ready for action for this third and final season of my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Welcome back, everyone. This season, we are doing just 10 races, a very compact format. We'll be starting off in Bahrain, followed by Azerbaijan, then moving off to the Red Bull Ring, followed by Silverstone. Then on the other side of the summer break, we have Spa, Monza. Of course, can't have a season without those. And then moving to Sochi and Suzuka, and then finally finishing off in Mexico and Brazil. So that is the schedule for this season. Let's set up the team. So first up, we need to pick a major sponsor, and I did briefly consider 7 as they will give us the most weekly income. That's really all we need to look at, seeing as there won't be a season 4, more than likely. So we won't need money going into next season. So the actual goal and the goal bonus don't really matter. The main thing is we need to get the most money each week. But in the end, I actually went with Quest. Mostly because I think their logo is a bit cooler. I like how the Q is a power button. I think that's quite cool. But anyway, yeah, Honda will remain as our power unit supplier. I mean, that's kind of a given with our team. We can't really switch to a European power unit. That just wouldn't make sense. So yeah, we're sticking with Honda. And obviously, at the end of the last episode, we signed on Jenson Button as our new teammate. So looking forward to seeing what he can do with our car. But anyway, let's choose our driver number. Because we won the championship last season, we get to choose the number 1. And that is exactly what we are going to do. That is very cool. But anyway, here is a little glimpse from pre-season testing. Of course, we are now carrying the number 1, and you can see our livery out on circuit and what that now looks like. I do like this livery. It's a bit out there, I'll admit. But anyway, here is our teammate, Jenson Button. He has elected to run with the number 15. And then some driver transfers. Zhou Guan Yu has been signed to Alfa Romeo. He is running under the number 12, as opposed to his real life number 24, although I guess they didn't know that at the time of making the game. He also has a new teammate at Alfa Romeo, the number 48, Marino Sato. He is back in F1 after a year out. Obviously, he spent the second half of Season 1 with our team. But yeah, now Marino Sato is back with Alfa Romeo, and they have an all-Asian lineup there. And Antonio Giovinazzi has moved to Aston Martin, and he replaces the retiring Sebastian Vettel. So that just about covers all the driver transfers. So let's just get into this HQ stuff at the start of the season. So first up, as always, is the activity timeline, and we are going to go for the driver training camp for Jenson Button. That will significantly improve his stats all round, a +7 against all of those, as well as the 2 up arrows for focus, which tends to be, I think, around 10. So huge focus boost as well. And secondly, we're going to go for the pre-season merchandise sale, and that will generate 1.5 million credits for us. So that is crazy. Next, we spend a ridiculous amount of money on facility upgrades. Now we go through the activity timeline, and
parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the race weekend.
Okay. So yeah, we get a personnel department event, so let's check that out. And it's the gym equipment one. We've had this one before, and once again we will accept because second driver focus.
You handled that well. Thank you.
We also get a marketing department event, suggesting we invest more in our merchandise on race weekends. It'll cost us a bit more money, but it will massively boost our acclaim, so we are going to do that.
Thanks for dealing with that. The departments appreciate it.
And once our facility upgrades come in, we are going to get straight to work with upgrading this car. We're going to go for an ultimate weight redistribution upgrade, ultimate weight reduction upgrade, as well as an ultimate drag reduction upgrade in the aero department. So 3 massive upgrades coming onto the car very, very soon. In fact, by the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And with all that out the way, it is time to head to the Bahrain Grand Prix. So here is where I would usually be doing the intro, saying hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode for the Bahrain Grand Prix, the first round of Season 3. And, well, I'm not sure where we stand heading into this round. I guess we'll just have to see where the pace is at and how much the other teams have upgraded. After practice, we buy an ultimate tire wear upgrade rather, and that will also be on the car in time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So potentially, if they all succeed, that is 4 ultimate upgrades that will be on in time for Azerbaijan. That is crazy. But anyway, we'll see if we actually get them all by then. But nonetheless, they'll be on the car, at least in time for the next round. And that should get us well up the order. But anyway, briefly there you saw the R&D chart. We're slipping down the order a little bit, but we're still, in the fight for points. So that would be a good place to start for this season. And it's it's still a better starting point than we had in the previous season, and in this one we should be able to upgrade much faster. So yeah, let's look forward to that. But anyway, Q1 we both get through. Both myself and new teammate Jenson Button are able to make it through. The Hasses knocked out at the bottom of the timesheets there, so not a great run from them, as well as Nobuharu Matsushita knocked out the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers. As Sato back in F1, Joe new to the sport. So yeah, the Alfa Romeo is lacking a bit of pace, as well as Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. A bit of a surprise getting knocked out there. But yeah, good job by the Aston Martins getting through, and the Williams cars actually looking very strong, with Russell and Latifi performing quite well in this session. So Williams potentially could be on the edge of the battle for points this season. They only scored once last season in that final crazy race, but yeah, this season they could be looking much better. In Q2, only 5 teams make it through into Q3. The Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the Mercedes, the Samurais, and the McLarens. The same usual suspects from last season, but like I said, the Williams looking very good, qualifying exactly where they did in Q1 in 11th and 13th. Fernando Alonso knocked out as well, down in 12th, along with Pierre Gasly, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Lance Stroll, the 2 Aston Martins at the bottom of the session there. So yeah, maybe things did not go their way in this one. But anyway, continuing on now into Q3, and we'll see what we can do in this final session. We've had good pace so far. I don't know if we really have what it takes for pole position, but we'll give it our best shot nonetheless. Excuse me while I interrupt myself, but I completely forgot to mention that Yuki Tsunoda did not get a drive this season, you may have noticed. So that's a bit of a random thing. I would have thought he did well enough last season to earn a drive at another team, but yeah, clearly that did not happen. But anyway, we'll see if he gets hired mid-season, or if he'll have to wait another year. But anyway, continuing on through our qualifying lap, it's been a pretty good one. Bahrain is a circuit I've always sort of clicked with very well and done very well at, so hopefully we will be able to get a good qualifying result here and prove that we are a force to be reckoned with this season. So here we come then towards the final 2 corners, and we'll see how this lap finishes off. Taking a bit of curb there. It's very easy to take too much and run wide. We run wide there, but that's just because I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, across the line.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap. Qualifying finished. It's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. The scientist, Norris, and Max Verstappen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry. We'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
And we get pole position by some margin over our teammate, who's down in 7th position. So I think it might be fair to say I've got the difficulty set a little bit low. So we'll fix that before we get into the race. But yeah, looking at the performance of everyone else though, McLarens and Red Bulls looking strong as ever. we were looking at where Jenson Button is. We probably have similar pace to the Ferraris and the Mercedes. Really struggling in qualifying, 9th and 10th for them. So yeah, they've got some work to do if they want to be in the fight this season. Because yeah, it's not just Mazepin down there, it's Hamilton as well. So yeah, Mercedes are seem to be a bit nowhere. So we'll see how that plays out in the race, of course. But yeah, let's just get into it. Here's the head.
I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Into the menu. Don't know why I'm showing this. We don't really need to do anything here. Clear conditions for the race. Obviously, it never rains in Bahrain. So let's just get into it. And I've forgotten to change the difficulty setting.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1 of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula 1 underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. The scientist lines up on pole position and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Sergio PEREZ and Leclerc, Button, Sainz, Hamilton and Nikita Mazepin, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Nicholas Latifi and Gasly, Giovinazzi, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Marino Sato, Joe, Matsushita, Mick Schumacher and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Pole position, let's go for the win.
Let's go for it, Jeff. So the strategy will be the 2-stop that we are being recommended. The tyre wear seems like it will be quite high. So yeah, we're going to go for the 2-stop and we use 2 sets of the medium compound tyres. Fairly standard strategy. So yeah, let's just get into it. Starting from pole position. If we get a good start, we'll have a clear run down to the first corner and we'll be able to stay out of any of the chaos that we had here a couple of years ago down at the first corner. But anyway, we get underway for the formation. That's still a very weird feeling.
Let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
I am not used to leading away formation laps. So yeah, that's something to get used to. But anyway, let's get everything warmed up and we'll be ready to go for the start of the race.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
I am ready to go for this one. Very exciting to start on pole position for the first race of the season. We have a real chance here to make an impact early on in the championship. So here we go to the 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go after a long hold on the grid, but we get a decent start nonetheless. We cover off the inside, but it's the outside we need to worry about as Verstappen's already got the nose ahead. We go deep into turn 1 to try and defend, but we go too deep and Verstappen is through. We'll hold the inside line and keep P2, but Max Verstappen has taken the lead here in the early phases of this one as we're under pressure already from Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren, but we'll manage to stay away and stay ahead of him rather. And maintain second position, but yeah, not an ideal start and dropping a spot already as we're all over the place in the middle sector. And now heading into turn 8, we'll need to take the defensive here, but nice run out of the exit. Too much wheel spin and a spin for us at the middle point of the first lap, and the field goes by. We just have to wait for them all to pass before we can get it spun back around. And we've dropped to the tail of the field. What a disaster at the start of this one. Going from pole to second wasn't good, but dropping now to the back has ruined this race for us after the shaky start. But there is a reason that happened, and the reason is you're about to see my controller batteries went flat, or they were going flat, and when that happens on Xbox, it stops the controller vibration, and you just lose all sense of the grip in the car without the vibration. So it's very easy to get wheel spin and spin out, and you don't really get any warning of it. So yeah, that's the reason that happened. But I figured since I was running a low difficulty in this race, because I forgot to change it, I thought maybe it won't be so bad and we'll be able to recover. So that is what we'll try to do. But that's a bit of an unfortunate start to this one, and you can see at this point the battery was already low through probably this sort of second half of the first half, the second quarter of the lap. Let's go with that. From maybe about the sector line at the end of the first sector. That sort of area is where the controller vibration stopped, and you can see I was all over the place after that. But yeah, we get going once again, and we will try to chase them all down.
Ahead. Push for the position. Our gap to the car in front is 5.7 seconds. They're on fresh softs.
So it was quite a gap to Zhou Guanyu. We go up the inside and make the move on the Alfa Romeo driver, and we'll see if we can get the move done around the outside here, and we will do just that and get through ahead of him. Now we go down the inside of Mick Schumacher, and that we get that done nice and easy. So the Haas cars,
nice overtake.
After locking out the back row, making a bit of progress in this race. Schumacher making a spot and now trying to re-overtake us as he goes to the inside, but we have better straight line speed, so he won't be too much of a threat down at turn 1, but we leave him a bit of space there just in case he was going to go for the dive, but thankfully we're able to hold on. Now we catch up to Marino Sato in the other Alfa Romeo car, so let's see if we can get a good run down towards the first corner. We'll have the DRS advantage, but we got a really bad exit out of the final corner, so this is going to be a monumental dive if we want to get this done, but we're going to go for it, and we will get up the inside. Sato himself had the DRS in a bit of a DRS train here, but nonetheless we are able to overtake Marino Sato, and now we can chase down Valtteri Bottas, which we will do, and we'll send one up the inside and get that done into turn 4. So popular overtaking spot for us at the moment is turn 4. So let's continue to try and forge our way through the field. We go around the outside of Esteban Ocon the final couple of corners. So that was a nice move on him. We get the DRS as well, and that will aid us in our pursuit of Pierre Gasly. And actually, sorry, that's Nobuharu Matsushita rather, in the AlphaTauri, and we'll go for the dive up the inside into the final few corners, and we'll get that move done. And now finally we have some clear space ahead of us. Quite a gap to Lance Stroll, but it doesn't take us too long to close that, and we'll send it up the inside into turn 1, and we'll get the move done on Lance Stroll. So we're making pretty rapid progress back through the field, and at the moment we are still quite away from the points, but I think we'll get there in the relatively near future. We go for a big dive on Giovinazzi there, and made a bit of contact on the way through, and a little bit wide on the exit, but
be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Never mind that. We made a bit of a mistake through the middle sector there, and Giovinazzi straight into the side of us there, as we made a bit of a mistake. We were slow on the exit, and Giovinazzi not expecting that. We go on board with the Italian, his first race with Aston Martin, and it's well, I don't think it's ended, but it's not taken a good turn at this point, as yeah, we ran deep there, and yeah, you can see exactly how that played out. So that's unfortunate for Giovinazzi, and yeah, he just made that bit of contact. Here's the replay from the helicopter, and yeah, you can see we made a big dive. Giovinazzi didn't see us coming. We made a bit of contact there, but that was fine. It was this secondary one here, and yeah, that tipped us off the road. Giovinazzi off as well. We were able to rejoin and continue. Giovinazzi had to wait for the field to go by before he got going again, so that's unfortunate for Giovinazzi, and he has dropped a long way behind, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had damage to his car as well. We were very lucky. We didn't get damaged, though, by some miracle. We made fairly hefty contacts, but yeah, we got lucky and got away with that one. So we can continue to push on. We go for another dive on Lance Stroll, as he was able to re-overtake us amongst all that, and we get back ahead of Stroll. So now it's time for us to make our first pit stop of the day, and we'll move on to the medium compound tyres. So in we come, medium tyres on, and it's a great stop by the crew, and it's a 2 seconds flat, so that is fantastic.
One stop left in this strategy.
And yeah, that is exactly what we needed, so that's great. We can continue to push on through this race, and yeah, try to move our way further forwards in the field. The next car in front of us is Nikita Mazepin in the Mercedes. We're going to go for a big dive up the inside, and we'll get that done in the braking zone and move ourselves up and into 14th position at the moment. So of course the running order is a little bit mixed up from strategy, but Mazepin running down the order a little bit at the moment, it would seem. Although given the Mercedes pace in qualifying, that may just be legitimately where they are. As yeah, we continue to push on. Sato is the next car in front of us. He is yet to make his first stop. He defends all the way to the inside. We'll try and make the move around the outside. We're just going to sit and wait, because I think he's going to make a pit stop now anyway, as we get a lot of wheel spin and a slide on the exit. Mazepin's back through. Sato is indeed going into the pit lane, but Mazepin able to take advantage of that moment we had on the exit of the final few corners. Now down the inside of Mazepin once again into turn 1, and we get the job done there and move ourselves up and into 10th position. So this is probably a bit more representative by now of where we truly are in this race. So we'll see how it plays out. Meanwhile, Nicholas Latifi defending very harshly there from Jenson Button, who is running in a fairly lofty position at the moment. I think on corrected order he's in the top 5 or 6, so Jenson Button doing a good job today so far. Let's hope that can continue. As there's a yellow flag up ahead, and Antonio Giovinazzi is at another moment, and he reverses straight into the path of one of the McLarens. What on earth was that? That is so dangerous. Antonio Giovinazzi spins, and then he's parked on the road there. That he can't help that. That's just where the car landed. Max Verstappen stops, but then reverses straight into the path of the oncoming cars. That is ridiculous. Unbelievable. Giovinazzi. That is just so ridiculously dangerous. But he's gotten away with it, and it was Daniel Ricciardo who made that bit contact. He's on board with Max Verstappen. And this is fine. That's where the car stopped. That's fine. But the reversing across the track, that's just insane. He's the on board with Sergio PEREZ. He manages to sneak through, and he takes the lead of the race effectively. I think with that, Daniel Ricciardo is the one who got caught up by that. So that's unfortunate for Ricciardo. He's got damage, and he is heading straight for the pit lane. After that incident, and Lando Norris as well. Is he going to get caught up in it? Oh no, he just about gets away with it. But Lando Norris, a very close call there as well. And Norris in the pit lane as well. The safety car is out, so well, that gives a new meaning to double stacking, I think. But anyway, that is something. But anyway, we get going once again. We've actually jumped Lando Norris, so our new double stacking strategy seems to be working at the Samurai F1 team. I don't know what that was about, but anyway, with that stop made, we've just sped under the safety car. We have just sped under the safety car. And also, I've gone for the hard tyres. Everyone else has gone for mediums. So we're going to come in and get those changed. But we have a drive-through penalty to serve as well, which has to be served under green flag running. So yeah, we've sent ourselves down the order both with a bad bit of strategy and with a drive-through penalty now. We can serve that on the restart lap, which is exactly what we are doing. Apologies for the little audio issues that are going on at the moment. I don't know what causes them. Just Xbox features are not working as intended, as usual. But anyway, we will not worry about that too much. They'll go away eventually. But for now, it's just annoying. But anyway, out of pit lane, and I've forgotten the pit limiter button. I'm trying to shift up gears instead. That's not what you want. And we run deep into the first corner as well. So yeah, costing ourselves a bit more time than what the penalty was meant to be. But we'll push on now and try to make up for it. So here we go then, already catching up to the back of Sergio PEREZ, who I thought was near the front of this race, but he's just made a pit stop, and that maybe he got damaged. No front wing change going on. So Sergio PEREZ, that was a scheduled stop just after their safety car ended. Not sure what that was about, but anyway, that's put us right on the back of him. So let's see if we can make the move as we head down the inside into turn 11, and we get the job done there and move ourselves up and into 18th position. We have a long way to go in this one, as Daniel Ricciardo is also trying to come back as he spins. Ricciardo spins off the road, and that is going to cost him a lot of time, because look at the train of cars going past as he's parked on the right there, trying to get back on the road. The train of cars just does not end, and Ricciardo is losing so many places. What a disaster. And the same mistake that Giovinazzi made a few corners afterward. Daniel Ricciardo goes for a spin, and yeah, thankfully he stayed off the road and didn't become a moving chicane, which is not what you want. But yeah, we managed to get past Ricciardo there as well, as you could see there. But anyway, we continue to push on. We go for a dive and make the move stick on Valtteri Bottas. And next up is Marino Sato. So we're overtaking this lot for the second time in this race. I think a lot of them jumped us, obviously, with our drive-through, but some actually have another pit stop to go anyway, I think. Or they did, but a few pit stops were made. I didn't cover that really, but along with Sergio PEREZ, there were a number of others who pit around that same time, or a couple of laps later. But anyway, we continue to push on, making moves through the field. Dive there on Matsushita, and job done. Next up is the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. We get a good run out of the first corner of the final sector, and we will make the move around the outside of the final corner on the circuit, and that is a nice move on Esteban Ocon, and that brings us up and into the top 10 now, as we continue to fight our way through down the inside and making the move stick on Lance Stroll, and we get the job done there. Next up is Nicholas Latifi. We pass him nice and easy into turn 8 and get the job done on the other Canadian. Now we're up into 7th position with I think maybe another pit stop being made. That or I can't do maths, one or the other. Now we get the DRS and chasing down
17.4 seconds.
Pierre Gasly. We get past him in a straight line and move ourselves up into the top 6. So moving our way through the field quite rapidly here. So yeah, we'll see how high we can go. Carlos Sainz,
the car in front is 14.0 seconds.
Has quite a gap to us, but eventually we will try to chase him down, as Daniel Ricciardo retires from the race with a mechanical failure, picking up exactly where he left off last season. with another mechanical failure.
But we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Yeah, this guy just has no luck. But anyway, we make the move on Carlos Sainz eventually after spending a while catching up to him. We're getting into the closing stages of the race now, so it is time to really push as Max Verstappen now retires from the race with a mechanical issue, and he is out, and he was well and truly I think in the top couple of spots and fighting there, so yeah, he has that reliability issue for him has cost him a lot of points early on in this season. Helped us out because now myself and Jenson Button are fighting for a podium. So all of a sudden the race has turned around for us, and we potentially have a chance to take home some silverware as we send one up the inside of Jenson Button, and we get the move done at turn 1. Here's the replay from the offboard. As yeah, we made a nice dive, bit of side-by-side action through turns 1 and 2, but Button backs out, and we were able to push on, and now it's our turn to try and chase down Charles Leclerc. Button's been following him for a long time, and he hasn't not yet been able to make the overtake on Leclerc, so yeah, it's about time we had our turn, and we'll try to make the move. We go for it around the outside of turn 1 as we now begin the final lap of the race, but we can't find a way through, and Leclerc holds on to second position for now. But if we can fight with him a bit, if we can hold him up just a small amount, it will be enough for Button to catch up, and potentially we could both get past him in an ideal world. So we'll see what we can do as we head through the middle sector. Turn 8 is our next opportunity, but we're not close enough there, and Leclerc's going to hold on once again, but we get a nice bit of traction out of turn 8, and we might actually be able to make the move into turns 9 and 10. We go for the dive up the inside. Leclerc just about sees us coming. Bit of contact is made, but we get through side by side there, and we get a great run along the back straight, and now Leclerc is the one in pursuit as he is desperately trying to get back past. Here's the trick part. Now we're going to try to hold him out high and wide. We go and allow him to the left. Now we have to try and orchestrate this for Button to get through, and he does. Leclerc lifts on the exit, and Button is through, and we've actually gotten ourselves slowed up so much there that Button's got a good exit out of the next right-hander. Is going to overtake us as well, so Button up into second position as we drop into third. So we didn't quite do that the way I intended, but nonetheless, Jenson Button is up into second. It's a double podium for us. Leclerc will be absolutely fuming at this point, but nonetheless, we crossed the line.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
And we've gotten ourselves both on the podium. Lewis Hamilton gets the driver of the day, and he won the thing.
Smiling faces on the pit wall after a superb win here at Sakhir. And rightly so. What a brilliant effort from the whole team. Ant, talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Fair play to Hamilton and the Mercedes team. They were nowhere in qualifying. They pulled through in the race and stayed out of trouble to get the race win. So good job to them. Second place for Button, third for us. Double podium in the first race of the season. That's not bad.
Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The owner-drivers team move to the top of the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, overall, I would say that's a pretty good way to start the season. Double podium. Leclerc might not be too impressed, but well, we made that work for us. Anyway, we with that, I think we are leading the Constructors' Championship. Yes, we are, by a handful of points, quite literally. Just 5 points ahead of Mercedes. So yeah, we outscored them despite Hamilton taking victory. Nikita Mazepin ended up finishing down in 8th position, so he scored 4 points for that. But yeah, we managed to outscore Mercedes. We managed to get the fastest lap, which also helped there. But anyway, decent start to the season for Ferrari. They finished 4th and 5th, with Lando Norris bringing home 6th place for McLaren. So yeah, he brought home some points for them, but it wasn't probably the race they wanted, to be honest. With Ricciardo with that mechanical failure, it was always going to be tough for them to score big points. Sergio Perez a long way down in the only finishing Red Bull car, and behind Lando Norris. Like I said, Mazepin finished 8th. Pierre Gasly scoring a couple of points for AlphaTauri and Knight, and Lance Stroll getting the points for Aston Martin. So that is great for them. No sign of the Williams pace from qualifying in the race. George Russell down in 11th behind those two. So yeah, unfortunate that Williams couldn't capitalise on this race, where two of the top top cars didn't finish in Ricciardo and Verstappen. But anyway, that is that. What else? We've got about 30 seconds left to talk about stuff. Obviously the Drivers' Championship will just be the finishing order of the race. Constructors, like I said, we lead the way by 5 points over Mercedes, followed by Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, AlphaTauri and Aston Martin. They are the point scorers so far. And let's get into the interviews and all of the post-race stuff for the Bahrain Grand Prix this weekend. I'm adding words until I run out of time.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, we really, I think, maximised what we could have done today. I wouldn't have thought we'd get 2 cars on the podium, but especially with the spin early in the race and the drive-through, to come back and finish 3rd is crazy. But yeah.
How do you feel seeing your teammate up on the podium?
It's great to see that we can both be up there and be competitive, and yeah, it's awesome to see them doing well. So yeah, it's great.
Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today?
Spinning, speeding. Well, I was fast, just at the wrong times.
Your team did an incredible job at this track in comparison to last season. Is this something you've been preparing for?
To be honest, I don't even remember what we did last season, but yeah, we always put in maximum preparation for each round, regardless of how well we went there in previous seasons. But but yeah, I guess it's just down to the work we've done since then, and we come into this year with a much more competitive package than what we did last season. So I suppose it just comes down to that.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Thank you, Claire. All right, now let's check out some of this stuff. We've picked Sergio Perez as our rival this time, and we beat him so far. Let's see, we have leveled up to level 22 acclaim, which is good. Button's getting closer to level 15 on his personal acclaim. We pass all 3 of our sponsor objectives, so we get quite a bit of money coming in for that, and yeah, we get a bit of damage to the car. We don't quite get the 100,000 there, but honestly, we don't. $100,000 doesn't go that far at this point in my team. But anyway, almost $7.5 million in the bank now. We could do something with that potentially. Let's see. So anyway, on to the HQ stuff. The timeline before the next event is long enough for us to do every event here, so there's not much point covering all that. We upgrade the fabrication in the durability department. That will bring the department up to Spec 3 when that comes in.
Our department has some good news to share. They've just finished working on a facility upgrade. The details are available in your inbox.
We get a personnel department event, so let's go check that out. So unfortunately, Jenson Button has strained a muscle in the gym, and his trainer is recommending that he takes the rest of the day off in terms of not going to the gym. So we can send him to the simulator, which will increase his racecraft by 7, or just tell him to rest, which will increase his pace by 7. So we're going to go for rest because it's the only option we have, because his racecraft is already maxed out anyway.
Not an easy decision, but you handled it well. Thanks.
So we continue through the timeline once again, and we will just keep ticking off all the activities that we had planned. We get the weekly resource points. Usually when those come in, I check if we can do any upgrades, but I obviously had forgotten on that occasion. But anyway, we get a durability department event, so let's check that out. Alright, so it looks like there has been some minor flooding in the durability facility, and it's damaged some equipment. I seem to recall mentioning in the last video towards the end that it just suddenly started raining outside, so that's kind of ironic. But anyway, we can purchase all new equipment in case anything breaks, or we can just leave it and hope nothing breaks. That will cost us resource points, whereas purchasing all new equipment will cost us a lot of money. We're going to go with a safe solution and just spend the money, because resource points are a lot more valuable, I think.
Thanks for dealing with that. The department appreciates it.
We continue through the timeline once again, and we will continue to make our way through all the activities. We get more resource points,
They'll be on the
so
car ready for
we
the
can
next
now
race weekend.
afford another upgrade, and we are going to go for the ultimate brake upgrade, and that will be on the car, not for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but for the next one in Austria. I'm trying to recognize the flag. So continuing through the timeline then, our 2 chassis upgrades go on the car. Unfortunately, the drag reduction one fails, so we will need to repurchase that, but we don't have the resource points at the moment. Going through the timeline again, we have another durability department event.
We need your input here. Not an easy choice, I know.
And it's one we've had before, about our teammate having a disagreement with the department. We can side with the department, and our teammate will lose focus, but we get a bigger discount on an upgrade, or we can side with our teammate, increase his focus, and get a smaller discount. We are going to side with our teammate because focus is very important.
You handled that well. Thank you.
So unfortunately we have another upgrade fail, so we need to repurchase that at some point. But as we go through the timeline, we get more resource points, and we will be able to start repurchasing some of these failed upgrades. We're going to start with the drag reduction upgrade. Continuing through again, we're interrupted by a personnel department event. This time a magazine wants to follow Jenson Button's fitness routine, and we will accept that for the acclaim over the focus boost.
Thanks. I appreciate you taking the time to help out.
And now it is finally time to move on to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So yeah, that brings this video to an end, so thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Really appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments, it's always very helpful. But other than that, I will see you next time. Goodbye.